understand it was clearly not the greatest fit with the Browns, but my God, you're talking about freeing him from a position in which you have a number one pick quarterback, the reigning coach of the year, a team that invests in its O-line, lets you play with your LSU BFF, has maybe the hungriest fan base in all of sports, is coming off a playoff season, pushing for another one, and paid you $31 million over the last 2 seasons. If that is some sort of prison from which he should be free, there's guys lining up to get in his cell once it is vacated.
And welcome to Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast about news, narratives, takes, and gambling. I'm Nick. That's Kyle Brandt of Good Morning Football right there. And I agree. I think, the free Odell movement, where there were receivers and LeBron James, etc., wearing free Odell shirts. Odell's agent must have made these shirts up, right? And LeBron James got one. Free Odell. God, get him out of there with all that talent. Oh, no. Get him out. Get him out of there. Odell Beckham. Expected to pick a team. I might as well just Google it right now because when I went to bed last night, he had not picked a team. I looked this morning. Nothing was happening on Twitter. Kansas City, Green Bay, New Orleans. Nobody knows. He just wants to feel wanted. Everybody wants to go through free agency. We're going to do a lot of Thursday Night Football preview tonight and some gambling stuff. I've been lazy on gambling. That's my bad. I know that gambling content is what everybody wants. But we're going to start with the NFL. So not just Thursday Night Football, but the shit show that was the Monday night game. So the game was a mess, and the refs essentially decided it. One ref thought he saw an illegal block and called it, which is great. I thought I saw this, and then I called it. Okay, but you didn't see anything because we have the internet, and we know that he didn't touch the guy. And then, of course, we saw the ridiculous taunting penalty against Cassius Marsh where the ref hip-checked him. So let's get the explanation. The NFL issued an explanation as to why that was taunting. Here we go. Oh, wait, you know what? I should bring it up. Just for those of you watching on the internet.com.
In Chicago versus Pittsburgh, Bears number 59 is penalized for taunting. He takes several steps toward the Pittsburgh bench, posturing toward their sideline. Taunting is a point of emphasis to promote sportsmanship and respect for opponents. This was recommended by the competition.
I love that. So at the end, listen to this. He says this is recommended by the competition committee, which is a group of owners and douchebags, as well as some coaches. Here we go.
By the competition committee and coaches.
Yeah, so I understand why the coaches don't like it. So there is an element of this that's racial, for sure, where it's like, hey, young black man, you toe the line. I feel that. Everybody feels that. It feels gross. Cassius Marsh is white, by the way. However, despite the grossness of this, I understand why the coaches want it. The coaches want it because they just don't want their players wasting time talking shit, like at practice or in the games. They want, like, get to the huddle. We're trying to play football. Totally get that. That appears to be the underlying motive that they just won't say. I think that everybody else is like, hey, how about some human drama in sports? Remember when we couldn't celebrate and then now they could celebrate? I think this taunting thing is becoming a very clever little distraction for people to get pissed off about so they don't realize that there's a $1.5 billion lawsuit going on in St. Louis right now. And, oh, yeah, there are 650,000 emails in which there was insane sexist, misogynist, racist, homophobic language used between upper levels of team ownerships. Oh, my God. So what if we just give them something to worry about? Remember when Urban Meyer, we haven't talked about Urban Meyer forever. Remember that? He just beat the Bills, by the way. So, yeah, this is a distraction. Whatever. It's just the NFL this year is just the gift that keeps on giving. Let's continue discussing that gift that keeps on giving. Aaron Rodgers was fined for his COVID-19 violations, and CeeDee Lamb was fined this week as well. Why was CeeDee Lamb fined? Of course, CeeDee Lamb is a second-year receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. He's awesome. He was fined about $20,000 for uniform violations. He was wearing an untucked shirt. He was allowing his six-pack to be shown, which is, I don't think it looks as cool as people think it looks, but also it's very strategic because you can't grab someone's skin and six-pack. You can grab their jersey and their waistband to help tackle them. It's not that big of an advantage, but it can occasionally be an advantage. And they asked him, CeeDee, how do you feel about this? And he says, am I mad? No. Does it annoy me? No. Am I confused a lot? Yes. I don't understand why I was the one getting fined for an untucked jersey. And of course, Aaron Rodgers being fined for COVID. Less money, though. fascinating. Speaking of people who do crappy stuff on the football field, let's discuss the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots. If you didn't see it, Mac Jones threw an interception, and then he tried to tackle a guy who he thought had the ball but didn't have the ball. It was Brian Burns, who was a defensive end, I believe, out of Florida State. He's a really great player, and he roughed Mac Jones up quite a bit. The Carolina Panthers defensive front is awesome. Mac grabs his ankle and just like twists it from the ground, thinking that he's got the ball. And it is a dirty play. And then so Brian Burns was like, hey, whatever. I thought it was dirty, but whatever. And then he saw the replay and he goes, that's when I thought it was kind of bull. And Mac Jones does walk off the field like he knows he did a dirty thing. And so that's great. The Patriots have a dirty quarterback. Great for all of us. And Brian Burns, of course, wished his fellow defensive ends happy hunting. I mean, go get him. Go get that rookie. Got another scandal brewing in the National Football League. The Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook, superstar running back. There are some various allegations and countersuits happening between him and an ex-girlfriend. She has posted screenshots of conversations which include pictures of her face that looks really quite bruised. He is alleging that she stole an old garage door opener and came in and kind of assaulted him with pepper spray and another girl. So it's a mess. And the real story here for a sports narrative standpoint is that Adam Schefter is just a mouthpiece for the agents. The agents are just texting him, say this about Dalvin, and then he's just doing it. And it feels gross. This is domestic violence, man. You're gross, Adam. You're gross. You barely exist anymore. All right, let's look at Thursday Night Football. We get you out of here. Shouldn't take so long. These episodes shouldn't take so long. Thursday Night Football tonight, the Miami Dolphins are at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, the other way around. Ravens at the Dolphins. Ravens are favored by 7.5 points. The over-under is 46.5. I could do this in preparation. I almost did, but I thought everybody likes it when I do it live. Okay, so 47 divided by 2 is 23.5. 23 minus 4 is 19. And 23 plus 4 is 26. 1926? Is that right? That can't be right. That is right. 19 to 26 is the implied line, or 19 to 27. Yeah, the Dolphins suck. There's really no other way to say that. They don't play tough. They have a backup quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa is hurt, and it doesn't matter because he's not that good anyway. The Dolphins suck. However, one player that does not suck is former Penn State tight end Mike Gesicki, who is a fantasy football darling. Let's talk about some prop bets. I haven't done prop bets and given best bets of the year. I'm not going to do DFS, no daily fantasy lineups, but we'll do some bets. Mike Gesicki over 55.5 receiving yards. That, to me, that sounds pretty juicy. He's done that a couple times this year, including Atlanta, Jacksonville. He was at 57 against the Colts. He was at 86 against the Raiders. So he does it about half the time. The Ravens give up an egregious amount of yardage to tight ends. Egregious. But it only works if the team that they're playing has outside receivers. So the Lions have an excellent tight end in TJ Hawkinson. The Lions don't have good receivers. They could therefore guard TJ Hawkinson fairly easy. The Dolphins do have outside receivers. Jacoby Brissett has an enormous arm. On Thursday Night Football, you can just kind of let it loose, not game plan as intensely. So they have Jalen Waddle and Will Fuller. I don't know if those guys are going to play. I haven't looked that far into it. I don't really care. They only need one of them to be on the field for this to work. I think Mike Gesicki is going to have over 100 yards. That, to me, is a smash play. Mike Gesicki over 55.5. I also like over 4.5 receptions for Marquise Brown. I think the Ravens are kind of debuting their we're just going to throw the ball all over the place offense, and I love that. So I love Marquise Brown over 4.5 receptions for the Ravens. I also love Lamar Jackson under 65.5 rushing yards. He's been about at that half the time this year. He's a passer now. The only thing that sucks about this is 2 scrambles because he's so freaky, he could be there. He could get there after just 2 scrambles for 15 yards each. It'd be like halfway there. Yeah, that's what sucks about it. But I don't think it's Thursday Night Football. It could be a little sore. They don't need him to run to win. They're kind of changing the identity of their team. They have some good receivers. They've got some not so washed up running backs, but some older running backs. I think they're a good football team, and they're not great. I do think they're frauds, but they won the games that would have exposed their fraudulence, and ergo in my face. What do you want me to say about that? Thursday Night Football for college. It's North Carolina at Pittsburgh. North Carolina's trying to rebound. Everybody ranked them in the top 10, and their 2 best players last year. 2 of their 3 best players last year are in the NFL right now, and they look pretty good. They're running backs. One is in the Jets organization, and the other was with the Broncos. But they have Sam Howell. I don't think Pitt's that good. The game is at Pittsburgh. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. And this is a big game for Kenny Pickett because there are debates as to whether or not he's a true first-round prospect. There are no debates as to whether or not Sam Howell is a true first-round prospect. The spread right now is -6.5 for Pittsburgh, and I like the Tar Heels outright here. I don't bet on college sports because, you know, I went to college and I've seen those people drink on Wednesday nights. Yeah, I don't bet on college sports, but if you are a team in need of a quarterback, like, say, my favorite team, the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles, what have you, this is a great game to watch on a Thursday night and get ready. It'll kick off at about 45 minutes before Thursday Night Football, and your future quarterback could be on one of these teams. Sam Howell's got a huge arm. Kenny Pickett's got a big arm. Yeah, I think it could be fun. It's going to be in a half-empty Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Yeah. I like it. So let's check in on those Heisman odds. Sam Howell was sort of a favorite at the beginning of the year. Kenny Pickett's been up and down. Bryce Young is the favorite right now by quite a bit. He's -180. Kenneth Walker III, the running back for Michigan. Bryce Young's the quarterback of Alabama, of course. Kenneth Walker III, the running back for Michigan State, is +280. That's going to be done. I don't see them beating Ohio State and Penn State. No chance. He won't have the opportunity. C.J. Stroud, the quarterback for Ohio State, a freshman, along with Bryce Young. They're both freshmen. They could be in there, but because no one knows what to do. Matt Corral plays for Ole Miss and will have to win out this weekend. Ole Miss plays Texas A&M in a primetime game. I believe it's the Herb Street Fowler game. If Ole Miss were to win that game and Matt Corral shows out, I think that he will be the favorite and he will win the Heisman because Bryce Young hasn't played that well against good teams, which is kind of weird. But this Heisman is one of the more boring, awful Heisman classes I've ever seen. The only thing I'm really, truly rooting for is that Jordan Davis, the freaky interior defensive tackle for Georgia, we got to get that big boy to New York. He deserves to be there. Georgia is unreal. That guy's the best player on the team. We got to get defensive guys there. Thursday Night Football, I'm going to enjoy it. Can't wait to watch the future Lions quarterback, Kenny Pickett or Sam Howell. I would not bet on the spread for that game or the Thursday night NFL game, but I do like Mike Gesicki over 55.5 receiving yards, Lamar Jackson under rushing yards, and, of course, Marquise Brown, total receptions. We'll be back and better than ever tomorrow morning. We'll review the games. It'll be a Football Friday. We'll look at everything, college football and the NFL. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Really appreciate it.